we move on to a movie that I actually would recommend highly, highly, highly. So much so that I agree with Zach, who had told me, hey, France isn't picking this. Or France picked this over the movie everybody loves. A
And
movie
they
called
picked
Anatomy of a
right.
Fall. That got how many Oscar nominations, even though it was against it?
5? Something like
Zach
that?
has been adamant. He's been saying, yo, France went a different way. But while everyone's rooting for this other movie, I think The Taste of Things may be the movie that people need to pay attention to. And look, I liked that other movie a little bit more than Zach, which was Anatomy of a Fall, a thriller where you're trying to wonder, is this woman guilty? Is she not guilty? It got a lot of Oscar nominations, so that's definitely people telling you that they see a lot in it. How can a cooking movie surpass that, Zach? No, I'm asking you, how did a cooking movie surpass that, Zach? The Taste of Things is the best movie out in theaters right now.
It is such a delight. It is so beautiful, so lovely. Just like, the original title of this in French was pot au feu, which is French for beef stew. This is a beef stew ass movie. It feels like taking like a nice big spoon of warm soup where it like goes down your esophagus and warms your whole chest. I loved this movie.
It's a full course meal. There's
Yeah.
a section in here when someone goes to try a meal of another person who's very high class. He's just disgusted at the menu. Before even trying it, he goes, all of this clash. It's like he's trying a flight of beers and he's starting with the dark ones before the light ones. You don't do it that way, right? Beer before liquor, never sicker. This is paced so beautifully. And you and I are people who really like these metaphors to food, right? What you're consuming with your eyes is almost as simple as what you're consuming. You are what you eat. You are what you see almost, right? The way this movie is paced is like that full course meal. It knows exactly when to give you a spicy moment, more of a sensual moment, more of a sweet moment. There are cuts in this movie. I guess let me bring it back for those of you who may not know. This is France's submission. They chose not to do Anatomy of a Fall, which is I like it. I think I like it more than Zach. I am not bashing that movie.
No, and Anatomy of a Fall is good. It's
really good.
This is the movie that stuck with me far more than Anatomy of a Fall has. This was my Valentine's Day watch this year.
A fantastic Valentine's Day watch.
Right?
This is I think I saw it on Valentine's Day too. This was beautiful. This is a movie about I want to say a master chef, really a really rich guy. He's more than just like a chef.
The Napoleon of gastronomy, they call it.
Damn near, right? And he is creating all of these different foods and menus, and he specifically has a partner who's been his co-chef for the longest time. And that is really the movie. You are seeing them prepare dishes, you are seeing them try other people's dishes, and you are seeing them maybe or maybe not become a pair themselves. I tried telling the good gospel of Juliette Binoche to Alina because she didn't know. And I'm like, you know those French movies that we watch at film festivals where you're like, wow, Leia Seydoux is a really good actor. I like hanging out with her. That woman right there.
Yeah.
She wants so Leia can soar in Dune, right? I'm like, bro, there were lines that this woman was saying. There was moments that this woman was doing things without even saying anything. She whipped up this cream, just a lick of the cream. Alina was like, she just flexed so hard right there. Did you see the consistency of the cream? What movie makes you look up and go, in real time, they just whipped that correctly? Baked Alaskas. Everything up on screen. The vegan person who reviewed this on Letterboxd just made me more excited.
Right?
All you were doing was just naming the
Whetting
cast
my appetite.
It is great. It's patient. It's peaceful. But then it knocks you with these transitions. There is a transition dealing with a menu that cuts to a shot of a character. That is top 3 transitions of the year. I don't care.
Yeah.
It is impeccable. I rewatched it immediately to see the setup to that scene. I'm like, it is a movie even worth rewatching for those subtle moments when you really see how these characters cared for each other. I love it, bro. There's so much in this movie that I feel isn't a spoiler to tell you about the young apprentice that they have, who they tell you cannot be the best of the best until you eat a food that makes you cry. And Zach, I want to talk about that character and what happens in the second half for her. There's so much beauty. There's so much love in this, and it truly is. You can maybe never cook in your life, but whatever craft you do, you will admire the way they approach it here.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of people describe this as an action movie, which I think is because there's so much like intricate camera work, and they're able to capture all of this movement with like such perfect timing, and it's really beautifully assembled. But to me, it's not so much an action movie as it is like a process movie, right? You are seeing the meticulous detail that goes into all this like fine preparation of this high class cuisine. It's it's got similar moments to the sequences that we love in The Bear, where there's the food preparation, but it goes so much further and beyond it, because it's kind of like this, these like extremely opulent, extravagant dishes. Also, this is a period piece that takes place, I believe, in the late 19th century. So like you're seeing these sort of like older techniques and these more primitive technologies and primitive kitchens, and how more labor intensive a lot of this was. But it's in that labor you also see the excellence and the mastery, and just how in tune all of these people are, not just in the kitchen, but in the way that this is all captured on film. And it's just creates this like really captivating, hypnotizing kind of beauty that I think you can't help but be won over. It's really like the amazing smell emanating from the kitchen that just like lures you to the next meal. It just pulls you in and then is so delicious and savory. I love this movie so much. I only grew in my estimation on the rewatch.
I can see that for sure.
Yeah, you mentioned Juliette Binoche. I do also want to shout out Benoit Magimel, who plays
Main guy, right?
Dodin in the film. Do you know that they were a married couple? They have a daughter together, but they've been separated for about 20 years.
Bro, I need you to tell me this, because Piano Teacher is my watch list movie for sure. I know people could yell at me. They're both in it. Then I'm looking at this man, and just as an aside, I had to search up what he looked like before to what he looked like then. It's a period piece. I'm just saying. But the man is really good, bro. Tell me more about this. That he is in Pacific Fiction.
Yeah.
Right, tell me more.
Another legendary French actor. They were married. So, and I think like, it's one of those things that like, it's not necessarily part of the story, but I think it adds so much,
bro.
Because they're...
No, you're adding a lot there, knowing what they do.
Yeah, because there is this
smokes, dude.
this deep kind of like almost subconscious love that these characters have for each other.
But they're putting their craft first, and they want the craft to be the first thing that's focused on, even though they are doing their craft together. Hey, yo, what?
Yeah, it kind of like explodes the movie a little bit and makes it even that much more amazing. I don't know, man. You
spoil some stuff here. I'm gonna say there's that line at the beginning where they tell her, "Why don't you join us?" And she's like, "I am joining you. The hours I spend in the kitchen, I'm speaking through you through the food." Mm-hmm. I'm just gonna say, Zach, think of the ending. I'm just gonna say, Zach, now that you're telling me that they're real actors, how much of that is in this work? Yeah. I may not talk to you right now, but I'm filming this movie. You will see me live on forever in this product. Dude, I was comparing the difference between the craft of food and movies. Mm-hmm. You and I love this, obviously, and we put so much attention to video because it will live on forever. But to put that much, you just did how many meals for your Oscar prep? To put the same amount of effort, but for something that won't live on, maybe as a picture, but you eat it and it's done. It's like making a movie that will be consumed for one person, and that's it. The love and labor that goes into this craft. Yeah,
this really ethereal experience that it's so like the ephemeral. It's there and it's gone, right? Like it's there's so much poetry in that too.
Yes.
I mean, fantastic, incredible movie. As you mentioned, just incredible lines in this film. Like, I don't know if it's just like the lines are spoken that clearly, or they have like an incredible translator, but there's so many pieces of dialogue that are burned in my brain. I love marriage is a meal where dessert is served before dinner.
Bruh. That one was fantastic. That one was really good. Let me see if I can pull up another one over here. But I'll go off of some of the shots like you were saying. It's like they're filming an episode of Overcooked, which is why when they were saying it's like an action movie, it's like, well, yeah, they've prepped it. I get Maestro. He trained so much to do it, right? But there really is a craft in stuff like this where we had seen a movie at Sundance where he painted, and he said he studied the director who was a painter. And I'm like, okay, because someone's going to judge that stroke. Someone's going to judge the whipping. Someone's going to judge how you're pouring things. And I'm like, that's like so much effort to capture perfectly so that it looks the way it does right there cinematically for this movie. Yeah. What's that 3 hour Michelin star one.
Oh, the Wiseman movie. It's like Menu à plater. I wish I spoke French so I could properly
That's them
pronounce
capturing actual people. But like
Yeah,
this
it's,
is
I
like you
think,
were
a
saying, like the bear,
4-hour
where you have to,
documentary,
you have to train to look authentic, but then also a little bit more like an actor. Like you have to get it down right, and you're seeing the meals prepared in front of you. Yeah, I can't wait to run it back. I should have seen this on the big screen. It's one of those where you're lucky enough to get a screener to review it, but like I would have seen this on the big screen. I highly recommend it. Big combo price from me.
That is a thing that like because we got a screener, but I was lucky enough to have a chance to see it on the big screen. Please try to, if you can, if it's playing in your city, because I think there is so much beauty in how these images are assembled, and particularly like all of the food prep is so like intricate, and just to get to see it big, not have to like squint to focus on the details, I think is massive.
Mm-hmm.
And Devesh should live stream. Great advice for all of us. Just eat beforehand. I beg you. Yeah, you do not want to go into that movie with an empty stomach. It will be a tough 2.5 hours.
Go to a theater that's got a restaurant next door or down below so that it rises up to you. That's what you need.
Right.
There.
Although that's the thing is that most of these theaters that serve food, it's like chicken fingers or something. And I don't know if I could.
Say, can you imagine? I was saying go to a theater that's got a good restaurant outside, maybe down below.
There you go.
Something like that.
Perfect.
Hey, you know what? Just sneak it in yourself, right?
Yeah.
Just go in there, especially if you're somewhere else. But
fantastic
movie. Really good. Check it out if you have the chance. The Taste of Things. It is playing out in theaters right now. Devesh had also mentioned that technically Io Capitano, another one we're sitting on a link for, did snatch its spot for international category. I keep forgetting what were the 5 that got nominated, but what a travesty.
I mean, this is clearly one of the best international films of the year, right? Clearly.
And then this being France's pick and not the other one, and the other one gets everything, and this couldn't get the one thing it was submitted for?
I don't understand it. I mean, I think Anatomy of Fall is really good. I'm not trying to disparage that film. I think this is something that's pretty special. Taste of Things.
It's a very good movie, so keep this one on your radar for the future. When you get a chance to watch it, it is very, very good.